弟兄姊妹平安。
Brother and sister, may peace be with you.
今日我哋會繼續睇以弗所書嘅第6章。
Today we continue to study the book of Ephesians, chapter 6.
咁我哋12月第一個禮拜，我哋就會完咗整本嘅以弗所書。
So according to schedule, so in December we'll finish the studying the book of Ephesians.
我哋今日會主要睇第1至到第9節第6章。
Today we concentrate on chapter 6 of verse 1 to 9 of the book of Ephesians.
有一個嘅人去到一個嘅門口，門口上邊寫住一個蒙福之家。
So a man go to the front of the house and there's a sign that this home is blessed.
咁呢個人咧就喺門口企咗一陣，佢就好奇怪，究竟裏邊係乜嘢嘅地方？
So that man still there for a while and wondering who was living there.
嘅負責人就見佢企咗好耐，就出嚟去了解嘅情況。
So the house owner saw him and then come out.
咁知道呢一個人好好奇，就邀請佢，不如你入嚟呢個蒙福之家睇一睇。
So the owner invited the person because he's so curious. So invite him into the house to see what the meaning of this blessed house.
當呢個人入去嘅時候，正好係時間就食晚飯。
So it's time for the dinner.
不如你嚟睇下我哋點樣食晚飯。
So the house owner homeowner invite the man to join the dinner.
咁個負責人帶佢去一個嘅房間。
So the owner guide him to a room.
呢一個房間咧，當佢入去嘅時候咧，又覺得好奇怪。
And it was interesting inside.
啲裏邊嘅人咧又好瘦，啲裏邊嘅人又好唔開心。
So there's a group of people. They're really skinny and they're really sad.
佢就諗蒙福之家係咁嘅咩？
So how come the home of blessing is like that?
咁佢就睇啲嘅人咧，裏邊咧，哇，係咪啲飯餸唔夠啊？
So look at is that they don't enough food?
都唔係喎，都幾好餸喎。
Wow, the meals looks really good though.
又有雞，又有魚，又有菜，嚇。
And there's lots of different choices too.
同我哋一陣差唔多係咪？
So it's similar to what we're going to have at dinner at lunch today.
咁但係咧，停咗好耐，呢班人都唔食嘢。
However, those people, those persons didn't eat anything.
佢就好留意點解呢班人咁好餸都唔食咧？
So why they didn't eat anything, even in front of such a wonderful meal?
啲餸要趁熱食㗎嘛，係咪？
Yeah, so they should have a hot meal instead of waiting there.
咁佢就發現咧，原來台裏邊嘅時候咧，又冇刀叉喎。
They don't. So what they realize there is no.
每人有一對筷子，
They don't have a chopstick
個
there.
筷子就好長嘅。
They only have a very long chopstick for each
咁
one.
啲人咧就唔知點樣攞住個筷子可以自己食，所以佢哋食唔到嘢。
Then the problem was they can't use the long chopstick and carry and bring the food to the mouth.
咁呢個人本來想走㗎啦，
So that man want to leave the house
心諗蒙福之家個個都餓到瘦晚晚。
because he was wondering how come those people so skinny even in a house of blessing.
個負責人就即係了解佢諗乜嘢啦。
So then the owner realized, okay, I know what you're thinking.
你唔好走住，你去隔離房。
So I know what you're thinking. Let's go to next room.
佢哋又係食緊飯喎。
So there's also a group of persons eating.
咁嗰啲飯餸啲入去個氣氛又好唔同。
But the environment was really different.
啲人好開心，
Or they're all joyful
啲人有肥嘟嘟喎。
and they are all healthy.
但係咧，佢又發覺咧個台面咧又係放咗一隻好長嘅筷子。
And also on table they only have the long chopsticks.
但係佢發覺咧呢間房嗰啲人唔同。
But they are different than the ones in the other rooms.
呢間房裏邊嘅人唔係夾餸俾自己食，
Because they didn't pick up the food for themselves.
因為筷子長啦，佢就夾餸俾對方食。
Because the chopsticks are so long, they can't put the food in the mouth themselves. So they put
咁咪
it
大家
in the
開
mouth
心。
of the other one.
食唔食雞啊？
So they ask, do you want this
啲
item?
雞，整隻雞俾你睇，又夾隻雞俾隻雞俾
You
佢。
want a chicken? You want a chicken? I'm going to bring it to your mouth.
你魚唔魚啊？
Do you
即
want
係食唔食魚啊？
You want a fish?
食魚啊！夾啲魚俾你啊！
Another one asks,
你
do
唔
you
食
want a fish? You want a fish? I'm going to bring it to your mouth.
所以呢間房裏 邊嘅人，大家守望相助，整個嘅氣氛好唔同。
So the people in the room trying to work together, and then they work together and coordinate each other. So it's a very different environment.
呢個人參觀完呢一個蒙福之家，當佢走嘅時候，望一望嘅招牌。
So after he leave the blessing home, he look at the side again.
佢有一種嘅領受，
And he realized something.
同一個地方，
The same place,
同一樣嘅環境，
the same environment.
蒙福與否，
You got blessing or not?
好睇我哋喺呢一個嘅群體點樣嘅相處。
So are you blessed or not? It depends on how you work with each other.
教會
Church,
同一個嘅群體，
the church, the same organization.
有人可以喺裏邊好感受到嘅祝福，
Someone can feel very blessed inside.
但係亦都有可能我哋嚟到嘅時候感受唔到嗰種嘅祝福。
However, maybe someone don't feel the same blessing they got.
我哋可能好奇怪有啲間教會裏邊嘅 facility 或者各樣嘅嘢，
They're really excited about the facility we have.
但係可能最重要嘅關鍵，我哋點樣喺呢個群體裏邊嘅相處或者付出。
But the key point was how we work out or find fellowship with each other.
保羅喺以弗所書第5、第6章裏邊。
Apostle Paul mentioned in the book of Ephesians, chapter 5 and 6.
用咗好多唔同嘅角度去表達信徒喺教會嘅裏邊應該點樣和諧嘅共處。
So he explained in different angle prospect how people in the church should work out with each other.
喺第5章嘅裏邊提到，我哋係神嘅兒女，我哋係一個蒙愛嘅兒女，我哋要做智慧同光明嘅兒女。
So in chapter 5, Paul mentioned that we are the children of God and we should be children of light.
跟住佢透過唔同嘅人倫嘅關係，嘗試表達喺教會嘅裏邊點樣大家一齊去相處。
So in chapter 6, we're going to use how a family work together, or how people should deal with each other to explain how we should do the same in the church.
Actually, 5 and 6 嚇。
5 and 6.
咁喺第5章後半節嘅時候，透過夫婦嘅關係，表達我哋點樣喺用彼此嘅信服彼此嘅尊重嘅底下，喺當中一齊嘅相處。
So the second half of chapter 5, Paul used a relation between husband and wife and see how we should work with, fellowship with God.
今日咧，我哋嘗試喺第5章剛才主席讀嘅經文嘅裏邊，係透過兩組嘅唔同嘅關係，亦都帶出信徒喺教會裏邊應該點樣建立一個和諧嘅關係。
So today we're going to start study about two different relations. Then from that we can reflect how we should build a fellowship relationship in the church.
第一方面嘅時候開始喺第1至到第3節。
So from chapter 6, verse 1 to 5, to 3.
裏邊咁樣話，請聽我讀一次嚇。你們作兒女的，要在主裏聽從父母，這是理所當然的。要孝敬父母，使你得福，在世長壽，這是第一條帶應許嘅誡命。喺呢一度嘅裏邊嘅時候提到兒女。
In here, we mention about the children.
而喺作兒女嘅時候，保羅提到作兒女有兩個好緊要嘅要做嘅事情。
So as a children, we have practiced two very important things.
第一方面，兒女好強調嘅聽從。
So Paul emphasized to obey.
乜嘢叫聽從咧？
So what the obey mean, or obedience
我
mean?
覺得中文聖經中文譯得呢個obey譯得十分好。
So in the Chinese way, the translation is very meaningful.
但係有兩個嘅意思，聽同埋跟從。
Because I mentioned two actions. One is to listen, another one is follow.
明嘛？有時我哋聽唔聽，
So are we listening?
我哋有冇聽係影響我哋有冇跟從。
how have we listened, or is really affect how we follow?
有時可能我一塞住咗隻耳仔聽緊音樂，唔係聽緊你講嘢。
So actually, when we listen, most of the time we just use the headset to listen to the music instead of listen to the parents.
或者有時佢問你聽唔聽到，
So when we ask, "Are you listening?"
隻字聽得清楚，
Yeah, someone can listen to it,
但係可能佢做出嚟嘅嘢係做佢想做嘅嘢。
even though they hear and they know the meaning, but they don't follow and just follow their own will.
聽從係聽得清楚，係照你嘅意思去做。
So obey means you have to listen very clearly and follow the instructions.
或者帶有一種嘅意思嘅時候，我好仔細、好謹慎地聆聽，以致我好清楚嘅跟從。
So also meaning is I'm carefully and listen in detail. And I follow it sincerely.
你唔好以為係一個好似好簡單嘅意思。
So the meaning is so simple.
耶穌喺聖經嘅裏邊嘅時候，亦都去提醒我哋。
But even Jesus has to remind us that.
你會留意啦，耶穌喺馬太福音第21章第28到30節咁。
So Jesus said in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 21, 28 to 30.
佢講到有一個人有兩個仔，同大兒子講，叫佢做嗰個唔做，但係最後後悔跟住做。有第二個仔，叫佢做，佢即刻話做，但係最後係冇做。
So Jesus said, "What do you think? There was a man who had 2 sons. He went to the first and said, 'Son, go and work today in the vineyard.' I will not," he answered. But later he changed his mind and went. Then the father went to the other son and said to the same thing. He answered, "I will, sir." But he did not go.
你會留意咧，耶穌最後咧問咗一個問題。
And you notice that Jesus asked,
佢話：你們想這兩個兒子哪一個是遵行父命呢？
So Jesus asked, which of the two did what his father want?
明嗎？遵從與否？唔係睇我哋最初點樣佢講得天花龍鳳，而係最後喺你嘅生命裏邊有冇實踐嘅出嚟。
So follow or not is not what we say yes or no, rather than have we applied this thing in our life.
耶穌保羅喺以弗所書第6章裏邊好強調做兒女嘅時候，要在主裏邊聽從父母。
So in verse 1, they emphasize, obey your parents in the Lord.
呢度但有一種嘅意味嘅時候，我嘅聽從，因為我尊重主。
Then that meaning is I obey because I respect God.
喺呢一度，保羅亦都提咗第二樣嘢，除咗尊從，亦都提到孝敬父母。
Besides obeying the parent, also Paul mentioned honor your father and mother.
乜嘢叫做孝敬？
So what honor means?
喺呢度，但有一種裏邊好高嘅尊重。
So it's really high, means a very high level of inspection.
或者喺裏邊嘅時候咧，係用一個好大嗰個嘅俾佢有自尊。
And give him the self-esteem.
明嗎？點解保羅喺當中有一個咁樣嘅字？
So why Paul mentioned that here?
嗱，我哋做個仔。
We are children. We are children.
有好多都做過父母。
We are children and we are parents too.
我哋會經歷一樣嘢，當我哋細個嘅時候。
So we experience that when we are young or small.
每一個父母喺我哋嘅眼中，佢都係 superhero。
So every parent in their eye, or in our eye, is superhero.
哇！我爸好叻㗎。
Oh, my mom is so wonderful.
佢乜嘢都識㗎。
She knew everything.
佢識計數㗎喎。
She knew how to do
佢
math.
啲數好好㗎喎。
Her math is so good.
梗係啦，嗰陣時你啲數係咪加減數係咪？
Of course, those are only very simple mathematics.
係咪？你仔女仲頭勤，哎呀，乘數表係咪？你冇理由一個位都唔識係咪？
So when the kids are wondering what's timetable, as a parent, it's easy.
好叻㗎喎！
my parents, when in the eye,
你問佢乜嘢，佢梗有個答案俾你㗎。
So every question I ask, there's an answer.
當我哋越嚟越大嘅時候，
When we grow,
我哋就開始質疑我哋嘅父母係咪真係咁 super？
when we to a level, then we may wonder or doubt why our parents so wonderful.
可能有一啲嘢我做唔到嘅，原來
There may be something they can't really do it,
明嘛？或者可能有一啲嘅嘢佢未必識嘅，
and they don't know everything.
數佢識啫
They know about simple math,
，physics 仲記唔記得啊
but they may not know
？chemistry
physics.
唔記得晒啦，讀
They
歌
don't-
唔記得
and they don't know about the chemistries.
啊。開始慢慢佢又覺得你又冇咁 super。
And the kids, when they grow, they realize that the parents were not super as they think they thought.
當佢唔覺得你 super 啫嘛，對你嗰種尊重好似有保留啊。
Then the inspection we're getting, or the level of inspection is getting lower and lower.
慢慢嘅時候，哇，腰骨又痛啊，係咪？
So in a way, then the body, the parents' body getting weak.
哇！喺地下執完嘢，企起身頭暈㗎。
So you just when you bow down and then get up, you
啲
feel
仔女唔
dizzy.
知你做乜嘢，你冇搞錯啊！你炸低唔做嘢啊！
And the children, oh, how come what that happened?
喂，真係喎，尋日執兩棵枯嘅花嘅時候，諗住抌咗佢，哇！執唔企起身，頭暈咯。
I tried to just pick up some dead flower or plant, and then when I have done that, I feel dizzy.
弟兄姊妹，當我哋嘅父母不斷嘅年紀開始長嘅時候，我哋係咪仲係孝敬、尊重或者 honour 佢？
So, brother and sister, when our parents when it's getting older, we still have the same level of inspection to them.
我哋 honour 嘅父母唔係因為佢嘅學問高與低，
We honor our parents because not their knowledge.
我哋 honour 我哋嘅父母唔係因為佢嘅智慧比常人而高。
We honor our parents because it's not our intelligence.
我哋 honour 我哋嘅父母唔係因為佢對你有幫助，
We honor our parents because our parents is helpful.
我哋 honour 我哋嘅父母，因為佢係你嘅父母。
So we honor our parents simply because they are our parents.
保羅喺呢度強調，喺呢一度嘅時候，當我哋尊重我哋嘅父母嘅時候，保羅強調係換嚟係有一種嘅祝福，呢一種嘅祝福係神俾我哋嘅應許嚟嘅。
So Paul mentioned here, when we honor our father and mother, then we get the blessing. This blessing is a promise from God.
呢種嘅祝福唔係因為父母而俾你，而係天父去俾你。
So this blessing is not because of father or mother, because it's from the heavenly Father.
保羅喺呢一度嘅時候強調，呢個係第一條帶應許嘅誡命。
And Paul emphasized that this is the first commandment with
嗱，
a
我哋
promise.
唔詳細去解釋，當然喺呢一度嘅時候個背景去 refer to 嗰個嘅十誡。
So we are not going to go in detail, but we can. The background was the 10 Commandments,
咁十誡第一條都唔係講呢度。
and but first commandment
如果
is
你
not mentioned about honoring the parents.
如果你留意十誡嘅結構嘅時候，頭嗰4條喺講到我哋對神嗰種嘅尊重，而係第5、第至到第10嘅時候，我哋對人倫嗰種嘅關係嘅尊重，而人倫嘅關係開始嘅時候講到孝敬父母。
So the first 4 or the 10 Commandments is about our relationship with God, and the Commandment 5 to 10 is about how our moral interpersonal relationship. So the first one, the 5th one, is about honoring your parents.
保羅喺呢一度強調嘅時候，我哋要從遵從同埋尊重嘅態度去對待我哋嘅父母。
And Paul mentioned here the attitude to our parents should be of obedient and honoring.
留意跟住我哋去睇嘅時候，去講到父母。
And we look at verse 4, it mentioned about the fathers.
當然講到父親嘅時候，我哋亦都包埋父母啦嚇。
So even though you mentioned fathers, but actually it should be broader meaning of the parents.
你會留意保羅喺呢一度咧，淨係講第4節。
So we can realize that Apostle Paul mentioned in verse 4.
第4節裏邊話：你們作父親的，不要惹兒女嘅氣，只要照着主嘅教訓和警戒養育他們。
So Paul said, Father, do not separate your parents. Instead, bring them in the training, instruction of the law.
保羅喺呢度強調嘅時候，做父親有一樣要提醒嘅，唔好惹佢哋嘅氣。
So the first thing Paul mentioned, remind the fathers is do not separate your parents.
唔好惹兒女嘅氣裏邊帶有一個意思，唔好讓佢一啲嘅情況惡化。
And also meaning is don't get the things or the situation get worse.
明嘛？可能知道仔女有啲唔好嘅，特別指佢嘅唔好嘅嘢，讓佢係去嬲或者冇咗個進取嘅心。
So it's not just point out the bad thing about your children and into a way that they lost their encouragement.
或者係佢知道有啲佢唔中意嘅嘢，我哋特別去用嗰樣嘢刺激佢，可能係啲咁令佢個惡化。
And the getting things worse when we also getting worse when we try to pinpoint the bad thing of the children and then too much emphasis on it.
保羅喺呢度好強調嘅時候，做父母嘅時候有一種嘅目標就係建造我哋嘅兒女。
And Paul mentioned here that one of the purpose of parents is to build or establish the children.
無論我哋管教又好，我哋去訓練佢又好，我哋要按着主嘅教導去建立佢。
So when we want to bring them up into training, we should follow the instruction or the training from God.
唔係按我哋嘅心意。
It's not just by our will or what we want to do.
弟兄姊妹，我哋做父母要留意，我哋俾一個乜嘢嘅價值觀我哋嘅下一代啊？
So, brother and sister, as a parent, it's important that what kind of way we're going to bring it to the children.
好容易我哋會俾我哋嘅價值觀去俾下一代。
It's very easy. We just carry our value to the next generation.
甚至有時我哋覺得價值觀嗰啲嘅表現係我哋自己都唔中意自己做，但係有意無意我哋係俾咗下一代。
And even worse, and sometimes even don't like our value, but intentionally or unintentionally, we bring it to the next generations.
或者我哋只係期望下一代去完成你未做完嘅一啲嘅嘢。
Or we may only expect the next generation we're going to complete what we could not be complete.
保羅要提我哋每一個人喺神面前有神嘅使命。
And Paul emphasizes everyone have a purpose by God.
教導佢哋去行主嘅路，呢一個係最重要。
And the most important is teach your children to follow God's path.
所以喺箴言22章嘅裏邊第6節講到，教養孩童就使他走當行嘅路，就是到老也不偏離。
So in the word 22:6 said, train a children in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not turn from it.
但係好多時我哋集中喺第6節，我哋忽略咗第4、第5節之前講乜嘢。
But however, if you just concentrate on the 6, we may miss what the important point about 4 and 5.
所羅門喺第4節裏邊提到，敬畏耶和華，心存謙卑，就得富有尊榮生命嘅賞賜。
So Proverbs 22:4 and 5 also said, humility and the fear of the Lord bring worth and honor in life.
所羅門強調嘅係一個敬畏耶和華嘅心。
So King Solomon emphasized is the fear of the Lord.
而第5節裏邊講到，乖僻嘅人嘅路上有荊棘同埋網羅，保守自己嘅生命必要遠離啊。
So verse 5 said, in the path of the wicked lie thorns and snare, but he who guides his soul stay far from them.
跟住第6節講到教養兒女。
Then verse 6 talk about the train of children.
乜嘢叫做當行嘅路啊？
So what is the way he should go?
我估所羅門俾我哋一個嘅提示嘅時候，一個敬畏神嘅道路，或者一個乖僻嘅道路，兩者。
So the way, so Solomon is comparing the fear of the law or in the path of the wicked.
今日我哋要教養下一代去學習乜嘢叫敬畏神。
So we have to train our children what is the meaning of fear of God.
如果我哋將喺呢個段落裏邊，無論做仔女、做父親裏邊，攞一個嘅重點去睇睇。
So It doesn't matter if you're a father or son, and we look at the main point here.
喺呢一度好強調我哋要遵從同埋尊重一個嘅態度，好強調。
So the main point or emphasis is on the attitude of obey and honor.
亦都要照主嘅吩咐教導，亦都係第二個嘅重點。
And the second main point is bring them by the truth of God.
如果我哋應用呢一個喺教會嘅裏邊嘅時候，我哋亦都需要人與人嘅相處，彼此嘅尊重，能夠按真理去彼此嘅相處。
When we put into the church, so when our fellowship should be happy, respectful, and also based on the truth of God.
一陣我哋會借助另一段經文，我哋比較仔細一啲應用喺教會嘅當中。
So we will have used another scripture to see how we will work out in the church.
詩篇128篇嘅裏邊，形容一個美麗嘅圖畫。
In Psalm 128, have a wonderful picture here.
佢話：你嘅妻子在你嘅內室，好像多結果子嘅葡萄樹；你嘅兒女圍繞你嘅桌子，好像橄欖嘅栽子。看那敬畏耶和華嘅人，必要這樣蒙福。
So it said, your wife will be like a fruitful vine within your house. Your sons will be like olive shoot around your table, just in a man's breast who fear the Lord.
原來喺呢一度裏邊，我哋彼此嘅提醒強調嘅喺教會嘅群體，大家一齊要學習能夠尊重，同時嘅時候彼此鼓勵，做一個敬畏神嘅人。
So here, when we put in the church environment, then we should be respect each other, and we should have bring people to the right path.
嗱，當我哋繼續睇呢段經文嘅時候，講到第二組嘅關係。
We look further, we see the second relationship.
喺第5至到第7節嘅時候，強調係講到僕人。
So verse 5 and 6.
Actually 8節嚇。
Verse 5 to 8 is talk about the slaves.
嗱喺當中裏邊咧提到僕人嘅時候，亦都好強調聽從。
Paul also emphasized on the obedience.
但係你會留意咧，保羅喺呢一度裏邊咧，亦都好強調，佢話不要懼怕戰兢，用誠實嘅心。第6節裏邊，不要只在眼前嘅侍奉，盡是討人喜歡。第7節講到甘心嘅侍奉。
And Paul emphasized here on verse 5, respect and fear, and with sincerity of heart. And also verse 6 emphasized not only to win their favor when their eyes is on you, also verse emphasized in 7, serve wholeheartedly.
保羅喺呢度好強調嗰個嘅心態。
And Paul emphasized a lot about the attitude.
但有一個乜嘢嘅心態咧？
So what kind of attitude?
從負面嘅裏邊嘅時候，反面我哋唔好只係眼前侍奉。人喺度你就好好，人唔喺度你又唔好，呢種係假嘅，唔期望。
So then does not serve because people are watching you, and we no one's watching you. You don't serve the way you was, and this is not the right expectation.
而正面嘅時候，好強調用一個誠實甘心嘅心去盡心嘅侍奉。
So here also mention about we need a sincere heart and to serve.
保羅好強調嘅時候，唔係單係侍奉人，而係好似仲侍奉主。
And also emphasize here, we are not serving the people, rather we should have the attitude of serving the Lord.
原來喺當中嘅時候講到主僕嘅關係，好帶咗一種嘅態度就係我哋係好似我哋服侍緊人，但係我哋嘅心態裏邊係以服侍主為我哋嘅目的同埋我哋嘅動機。
So the relationship of master and slave is when we are serving persons. Actually, the active should be we are thinking of actually serving the Lord.
而喺呢一度嘅裏邊，特別我哋留意第6節裏邊，要從心裏邊遵行神嘅旨意。
So we should, as mentioned in verse 6, doing the will of God from your heart.
嗱，佢會睇到嘅時候，就算喺我哋嘅關係裏邊，我哋係一個奴僕。
Even though we can see ourselves as a slave.
呢個係神俾我哋嘅身份。
But this is a status God
呢
gave us.
個某個程度，保羅睇嘅時候，個個人都有唔同嘅角色喺呢個社會裏邊。
And so Paul knows that we have different role in the world.
嗱，人就總係覺得隔離嗰飯香啲。
And as a human, we always think, oh, someone else is better than us. than me.
同一碟飯隔離嗰碟梗係好食啲。
Even the same dish, you think the one on the next table is better.
同一個 model 嘅屋，人哋嗰間梗係好啲。
Even the same kind of house, the someone had was better than mine.
我希望你唔會咁諗啦，你嘅配偶都係隔離嗰個好啲啊。
And also, hopefully, you don't think that the partner or the spouse of the other one is.
如果係咁，咪有問題咯。
If there's always had that attitude, then you will get
所以
issues.
保羅要提我哋嘅時候，我哋會睇到神俾你咩嘅身份，我哋睇到呢個係神嘅旨意，我哋就尊重神，而係好好嘅去遵從。
So when we look at whatever role God has assigned to us, then we will respect and follow God's assignment or
弟兄
will.
姊妹，你唔好覺得如果咁樣，我哋好蝕底嘅。
We don't think that, then I miss hoping the thing. We do it this way.
保羅話唔係蝕底，因為呢個喺主裏邊你會得賞賜嘅。
So Paul mentioned it's not about what you miss, rather than you will get a reward from God.
保羅從僕人去提醒我哋要存兩個好緊要嘅態度，我哋以服侍主為我哋去做嘅心態，以遵行神嘅旨意為我哋嘅動機。
And Paul emphasized there's two attitudes which you follow. One is the serving to the Lord, and another one serving to God's will.
跟住保羅就會從第二邊嘅時候，就算做主人，
And also Paul look at from the angle or prospect of the
從
masters.
另一個角度做主人嘅時候，都係神俾你一個嘅崗位。
And master is also a role that God given you.
保羅喺當中只係講第9節。
And Paul just mentioned about the master in verse 9.
嗱，我哋一齊讀第9
Let's read
節。
together.
你們作主人的待僕人也是一理，不要威嚇他們，因為知道他們和你們同有一位主在天上，他並不偏待人。嗱，喺呢一度嘅時候講到主人，好強調同僕人係一樣。
So here it mentioned the master actually is the same as the slaves.
神俾你做主人嘅身份，你就好好守住你嘅身份啦。
We've God give you as a role as a master, then you just keep it and maintain it.
對住主去做啦。
And do it on God's will.
喺呢一度亦都提到一種嘅態度，
And also we mentioned about the attitude.
唔好威嚇。
Do not threaten.
係咪啊？啲做打工嘅時候好驚啊，係咪？
Yes, in the workplace.
你唔聽我講，炒你，槍炮鋸你。
So it's really scary. And, you don't follow me.
幾多人聽緊份工啊？你係啊，窒我啊！
You don't work with me, then I'm going to lay you off.
做主人嘅好容易一個嘅試探，仲用威嚇嘅手段，用一啲嘅工人又好，僕人又好屈服。
So as a master, it's really to fall in the trap of using threatening to handle the relationship with the slave or the
或者主人亦都有另一個嘅試探，好容易有偏心。
So also the master is trapped into the temptation. They have the bias.
中意嗰個，唔中意嗰個。
I like this one. This person, I don't like this person.
中意嗰個講乜都係好嘅，
The one I like, whatever he
中意
said
嗰個
is right.
講乜都係唔好嘅。
However, the one I don't like, no matter what he said, I know it's wrong.
好容易主人會擺咗一種咁樣嘅錯誤嘅態度喺佢嘅神俾佢嘅崗位嘅當中。
As a master, is really to fall the trap in such a biased attitude, even though this is God's role.
保羅好提醒做主人嘅時候，佢講咗一句。
So Paul reminds us as a master.
因為知道他們和你們同有一位主在天上。
Paul said, "Who is both their master and yours is in heaven."
弟兄姊妹，
Brothers and sisters,
無論作主人又好，
doesn't matter you're the master,
作僕人又好，
you're the slave or servant.
保羅好強調我哋嘅侍奉，我哋工作嘅心態係對住主。
And the attitude when we're working, It's just about concentrating on God.
好容易作主人有一種嘅心態，對方決定權喺你嘅身上，或者將人帶到你自己嘅身上。
And as a master, we already have the attitude that it's all my decision. And this is the way
每
I
一個嘅
want.
群體嘅裏邊，每一個人都好想別人去聽我去講，
As a group, we always want someone to listen to me
或者佢別人裏邊對自己嘅尊重。
and want someone else to respect me.
保羅去調教我哋嘅時候，今日我哋服侍嘅係以服侍主嘅心態，我哋要遵行神嘅旨意心態。保羅要強調嘅，我哋每一個人嘅心唔係對住彼此，而係對住主自己。
And Paul tried to adjust that attitude. When we serve, we are serving to the Lord, and everything is just focused on God.
嗱，保羅喺腓立比書裏邊去咁樣講。
And Paul mentioned in the book of Philippians.
佢話：照着我所切慕所盼望，沒有一件事叫我羞愧。只要凡事放膽，無論是生是死，總叫基督在我身上照常顯大。因我活着就是基督，我死了就有益處。
I eagerly expect and hope that I will in no way be ashamed, but will have sufficient courage so that now, as always, Christ will be exalted in my body, whether by life or by death. For to me, to life is Christ, and to die is gain.
保羅喺當中俾我哋一個好好嘅榜樣。
And Paul here was a very good example for us.
佢熱心，
He had a wholehearted,
委身，
he really committed,
佢盡心，
and he fully committed.
佢擺上一切。
He sacrificed everything.
佢唔係為人對佢嘅一啲嘅掌聲或者一種嘅讚譽，
But he was not expecting the praising from other ones.
保羅有一個嘅心，
Paul had the heart that
無論佢是生又好，是死又好，總叫基督在佢身上照常顯大。
Christ
will be exalted.
Yeah, Christ will be exalted in my body, whether by life or by death.
弟兄姊妹，呢個係我哋喺教會嘅群體彼此要持守一樣。
So this is we as a in church as a group we have to hold firm on that.
如果喺教會嘅群體，每一個人都覺得自己好重要，咁就一定會有問題。
If in the church everyone think I'm the most important one, then we will have issues.
筷子長，點解你唔夾嘢俾我？
So you have a long chopstick. Oh, why don't you just?
你唔知我食唔到嘢咩？
Why don't
你唔知
you
我冇嘢食咩？你知唔知我瘦咗好多咩？
give me the food? You
你
don't
知唔知我病
notice,
咗啫？
you didn't notice that I can't eat and I'm losing weight. I'm getting weak.
隔離嗰個又會啦，我點知你咁多啫？
And another one will argue, oh, how will I know that?
點解要我夾俾你，你唔夾俾我先？
So why do you give it the food to you? Why don't you give it the food to me first?
食嘢問題就會嚟㗎啦。初期教會第一個問題就係為咗食啫嘛。
Then all this issue of argument will happen. Remember that the first problem of the church is about food.
調轉，
In see another way,
明嗎？大家能夠俾住，哎呀，喂，你呢排瘦咗啲喎，好似
however, oh, how come you get slimmer recently?
食多隻雞髀啊！
Oh, now I'll give you another chicken sign so you can
你唔食
get
得
more
咁
meat.
多肉啊，食魚好啲啊！
And oh, you can't eat meat.
你唔
Or
食魚啊？
I'll give you some fish.
食菜啊！
Or you can't eat fish either? No, I'm going to
啊，
give
彼
you some
此
vegetables.
明白？希望對方好，對方能夠繼續去侍奉主榮耀神，呢個咪個目的咯。
So the purpose is, everyone is, the other one is good, and so we can serve the Lord together.
嗱，保羅喺第5章、第6章講到夫婦、兒女、主僕呢啲嘅關係，除咗我哋喺當中帶出一啲學習嘅地方。
So Paul mentioned in chapter 5 and 6 about the relationship about husband and wife, master and slave, and parents and son.
唔好忘記我哋保羅透過呢啲唔同嘅人倫嘅關係，點樣應用當中嘅原則喺教會整體嘅群體嘅當中。
And through those interpersonal relationships, so Paul tried to teach us how we can apply and work out in the church.
容許我借助帖撒羅尼迦前書嘅第2章裏邊，我哋一齊睇一啲嘅重要嘅真理。
May I use the first Thessalonians chapter 2 to see how that are true for God.
嗱，請跟我去睇一睇嚇，我讀一次嚇。
Let's study together.
我們勸勉不是出於錯誤，不是出於污穢，也不是用詭詐。但神既驗中了我們，就把福音託付我們就照樣講，不是討人喜歡，乃是要討那監察我們心嘅神嘅歡喜。因為我們從來沒有用過諂媚嘅話，這是你們知道，也沒有存着貪心，這是神可以作見證。但你會覺得咧，裏邊所形容嘅嘢同之前咧以弗所書有一啲類似嘅。
When you read, what we have read is very close to what mentioned in the book of Ephesians.
保羅應用喺教會嘅群體嘅時候，好強調我哋每一個人都係有一種嘅身份，係神託付嘅身份。
So when Paul mentioned about the people as a group in the church, and Paul emphasized we are
你就
entrusted,
盡心去做。
and you have to serve with whole heart.
喺教會嘅裏邊，可能有唔同嘅身份，係唔同嘅安排嘅工作。保羅去鼓勵我哋，唔係比較高與低，而係我哋盡心去做。
So in the church, we may have different roles and different work to be done, but it's not about which one is more important, rather than we serve with our whole heart.
保羅喺第6至到第8節裏邊咁話：我們作基督嘅使徒，雖然可以叫人尊重，卻沒有向你們或別人求榮耀，只在你們中間全心嘅溫柔，如同母親乳養自己嘅孩子。我們既是這樣嘅愛你們，不但願意將神嘅福音給你們，連自己嘅性命也願意給你們，因你們是我們所痛愛的。嗱，保羅喺呢一度嘅時候強調父母親。
So Paul here again emphasized about the parent or the mother.
母親強調嗰種嘅無條件付出嗰種嘅愛。
And the mother, the parent, is this unconditional love.
唔係要你回報。
It's not about the reward.
唔係要你去讚賞。
It's not about your placing.
而係付出。
Is the giving.
你諗下，如果喺教會嘅群體，大家一齊都唔係要對方，我對你諗下，如果我對你好，我期望喺你身上有一種嘅利益，呢種嘅關懷，呢種嘅愛係好有保留。
Someone think that, oh, I'm going to treat you good because I want to get something in return, then this kind of love or care should be very limited.
你諗下，如果你奉獻多，哎呀，有好多人關懷你。你如果冇奉獻，咁會點咧？如果帶住呢種嘅動機，嗰種嘅愛係好有問題。
Imagine if someone says, oh, I want to offer more, donate more because I want to get more care, then this kind of thinking will have very limited love.
或者我哋嘅心態係因為我奉獻多，所以我要得多啲嘅回報，亦都係好有問題。
So the attitude was that I donate more or offer more, then I should get a different treat differently. Then this is another issue.
保羅喺當中提，好似父母。
So Paul mentioned about like a parent or a mother.
冇得計。
There's no way you can.
亦都唔係期望回報。
There's no way you can. There's no special expectation and no reward.
留意第11、12節。
And also pay attention to verse 11 and 12.
你們也曉得我們怎樣勸勉你們、安慰你們、囑咐你們各人，好像父親對自己嘅兒女一樣，要叫你們行事對得起那召你們進他國得榮耀嘅神。
So for you know that we deal with each of you as the father deals with his own children, encourage, comforting, and urging you to live life worth of God, who calls you into his kingdom and glory.
提到父親。
Here mentioned about the father.
做父親有一個嘅目的，就係希望能夠對方能夠係行喺神嘅國度裏邊做得好。
So as a father, there's expectation that will be expected to do good in the kingdom of God.
你對得起神就得啦。
As far as you follow God's will.
嗱，擺喺教會嘅群體嘅時候，弟兄姊妹能夠大家，我唔係希望你點樣回報我，你點樣將自己集中精神喺我身上，而係你做得好，就已經係我哋嘅安慰。
So apply it, work it out in the church as a group. Then it's not what I have done is not expecting what the benefit of you I got.
你嘅侍奉盡心就得安慰。
Rather than how you're going to serve the Lord and how you
喺你嘅生命尊重神就得安慰。
And as far I feel good or comforted when you respect God and follow God.
無論我哋從父子從主僕嘅關係，亦都喺帖撒羅尼迦書信裏邊，從教會嘅 setting 嘅，其實裏邊嘅原則好類似。
So when we look at the relationship of father and son and the master and slave, and also what we learn from this, the first Thessalonian is they are the same kind of teaching.
神俾每一個人有父子嘅關係，或者嘅身份，或者有主僕嘅唔同嘅身份，亦都喺教會裏邊有唔同嘅身份。我哋都一樣係以此為神俾我哋嘅託付，我哋盡心竭力去做。
So it doesn't matter what kind of role we have as a parent, a son, or what we should is we serve the Lord and work in the church wholeheartedly.
無論父子又好，無論主僕又好，喺教會我哋侍奉嘅時候，我哋大家都係以愛去付出。我哋希望大家能夠將嗰個注意力擺喺神嘅身上。
So it doesn't matter what role you are in the church or what role you are, then we emphasize should be we bring love to the church and the focus should be on God.
無論父子又好，主僕又好，弟兄姊妹又好，我哋都希望彼此能夠你能夠行出神嘅心意，你能夠完成主嘅心意，呢個就最美麗嘅事情。
Doesn't matter you have father or son or master or slave, and the most important is you work out God's will and follow God's truth, the path.
弟兄姊妹，保羅喺帖撒羅尼迦書信裏邊第5、第10節強調一樣，這是神可以作見證。
So Paul emphasized in the first Thessalonian that you are witness and is so good, so
唔
God.
需要自己點樣 high profile 自己，
And you don't need to make yourself high profile.
唔需要周圍嘅人點樣去吹噓自己。
You don't need to how people award you around you.
弟兄姊妹，記住一件事，
And brothers and sisters, remember one thing.
全世界人話你好，
Even the whole world say you're good.
究竟主有冇話你好？
But the important thing is, did God or does God tell us we are good?
今日我哋追求嘅係人話你好，定係神話你好？
So what we are seeking today is seeking someone else pleasing or placing or God's placing.
呢個係我哋每一個人侍奉相處，我哋喺群體嘅生活嘅裏邊一個好基本我哋嘅動機出發點。
And we this is the basic attitude or the motive that we should have when we are serving the Lord or fellowship in the church.
有一個文士去問耶穌誡命中邊一條最緊要？
So Pharisee asked Jesus, what is the most important commandment?
耶穌話：你要盡心盡性盡意盡力愛主你嘅神，其次就要愛人如己。
So Jesus answered, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, and with all your mind.
十誡尊重神，尊重人。
So the 10 Commandments respect both God and the people and the humans.
耶穌嚟到鼓勵我哋盡心去愛神，盡心去愛人。
So Jesus come and encourage to love God and love everyone wholeheartedly.
喺教會嘅群體裏邊，我哋需要領受喺當中，神俾我哋每一個人唔同嘅身份角色，而我哋需要彼此盡心去擺上。
So we serve in the church as a group, and we have to understand our role and how and we serve the God wholeheartedly.
彼此我哋要追求，一齊去敬畏神。
So each one of us, we should fear the God and obey the God.
我哋彼此要提醒，一齊以正確嘅態度去服侍主。
We should encourage others, so serve the Lord with the right attitude.
我哋要彼此追求嘅一個和諧嘅共存嘅一個嘅態度，彼此一齊嘅建立。
So we're seeking is the church should be followed in harmony with God's love.
冇一個人可以取代主喺教會嘅地位，
No one person can replace the God in the church,
包括我
including me,
弟兄姊妹。
brothers and sisters.
如果人入到教會只係睇到我，睇唔到主，係好失敗。
So if someone just come to church and they can only see me, but they cannot see the God, then it's really
如果
fail.
人嚟到教會只係睇到一個好大嘅建築物好多嘅工作，而睇唔到主耶穌，好失敗。
If someone come to church and they see the building and lots of work being done, then they can't see God, then this is also a fail.
蒙福嘅地方，
A place that was blessed.
我哋好想入到嚟賓頓福音宣教會，呢個係成為我哋蒙福嘅地方。
So I want everyone to come to Brandon Evangelical Mission Church as a place of blessing.
冇錯，主設立咗一個蒙福嘅地方。
It's true that God has established a place of blessing.
好，我哋點樣喺呢個蒙福嘅地方？我哋要點樣處，或者彼此之間應該點樣處？保羅喺以弗所書俾我哋一個好好嘅提醒。
So the point is we have to how we can work out with each other so we can get God's will in this place of blessing.
或者我哋可以咁問：你嚟到賓頓福音宣教會，你感覺到蒙福嘛？
Or should ask, when you come to Brandon Evangelical Mission Church, do you feel the blessing?
或者我哋去諗，當我哋喺賓頓福音宣教會，我哋點樣讓賓頓福音宣教會成為一個咁蒙福嘅地方？
Or we sort of think when we serve God here, then how we make this place get more blessing from God.
讓我哋先領受神嘅愛，讓神嘅愛激勵我哋。
Let us first get God's love and then use God's love to encourage us.
讓我哋一齊起立，我哋唱一首詩歌作為回應。
And sing a response song.
我珍惜，我神竟然愛我，I am amazed。